right, I'm excited for this video because I'm going to be starting to talk about dplyr, which is my favorite package in R. I didn't think that I could really use R for anything serious until I started to apply dplyr. It is a sort of a language for manipulating data. It's very consistent. It's very easy to use if you ask me. I think that if you're going to do anything serious with R, you got to learn dplyr. And so here we go. So basically, dplyr is a set of functions that you can apply to data frames or tibbles, and it will spit out a tibble for you. And it is going to help you manipulate data. And so what we're going to go over in this video are some functions in dplyr that sort of replicate functions that we could already do in base R, but I think they're going to be a little bit better done with dplyr. And also, we're going to start chaining them together with other more advanced parts of dplyr that are a lot harder to do in base R. Okay, so I'm going to load in the crime data that we worked with in the panel data set. So I need Haven for that because that's going to help me bring in my DTA file. So I'm going to load in the crime data. I'm also going to go ahead and load in the Tidyverse, right? And get rid of the stuff that I forgot from the last video. Okay, so we have our data and we're going to start manipulating it. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new variable. So let's go ahead and look at the crime data set once again. County, year, crime rate, blah, blah, blah. So let's go ahead and let's create a new variable. And whatever it is. So we got the taxes per capita and we have the police per capita. Let's basically see how many taxes do we spend per police officer in different areas. So basically going to be tax per capita divided by police per capita. Okay? So we're going to create a new variable. Now the way we do this with dplyr is the mutate command. We're basically mutating our data, our tibble, to have a new data or a new variable in it. So it's going to operate a lot like we've already been doing. So we got crime, and we're going to basically use the mutate command. So now, like I mentioned in the last video, the consistent language in the Tidyverse is that the first thing that we're going to put in any function is the data frame that we're starting with, which of course is the crime data frame. Okay, so now I want to create a new variable, which is equal to the tax per police officer, tax per police. Okay, and that's set that equal to tax per piece per capita divided by police per capita. Okay, there we go. So that is going to help us create a new variable. It's going to create a new variable called tax per police, which is tax per capita divided by police per capita. But maybe I don't want to just create one variable. Maybe I want to create two. I don't need to do a second line for that. I can do it with this. Let's say that I want to multiply urban by central to get central times urban, whatever it is. Central urban is equal to central times urban. So I can use one mutate command to create multiple variables at once. Let's go ahead and divide it onto two lines so it's a little bit easier to see. And then enter. There we go. So now we have our two new variables. They're going to be at the very end of our data set. You can look at them there. So we got tax per police. We got central urban. There we go. Very nice. Okay. So that is the mutate command. That is one thing that we can do with dplyr, is create new variables. There's plenty of other stuff that we can do as well. So for example, we've been using for a long time the subset command to pick out particular rows and particular columns of a data frame. So now we are going to be able to use dplyr's versions of those variables, and that's going to help us do things a little bit easier. So we're going to select some rows, and we're going to do that with the filter command. So let's say that we're going to limit ourselves just to the urban environments here. So first I want to make sure what our values of urban are. So we got table, crime, $ urban. Okay, so we got about 56 observations in urban areas. So let's do this. So it's crime. Let's just say urban only. Let's keep our original crime like it is. We're going to use filter. Again, we're going to put in crime to start with. And we're just going to say, what observations do we want? Well, I want urban is equal to 1. There we go. So now we have our urban only, got 56 observations, which are those 56 observations right there. We have urban equal to 1. That's filter. Okay, how about we want to select some columns? Well, we're going to use the select command. So let's say that we want to just pick the two variables that we were using for our regression model earlier. We can use select. So we're going to use our reg data We're going to use select. Again, the first thing we're going to put in is our data set, and we're going to pick out the variables that we want. We can put a comma between each of them. We had crime rate, and we had police per capita. So if we do that, we can see we have two variables in our new data set that we've just selected those variables from. Now, one of the nice things about select is that it takes some of the other functions that dplyr offers, or the Tidyverse offers. So we mentioned in the last video about the starts with command. So maybe I want to pick out all of the variables here that start with CL. I don't even know what CL stands for in this particular data set, but I want them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say select columns using starts with. All right, so let's do CL only. Select crime starts with CL, and this will pick out, not crims, crime. And it will pick out just the variables that start with CL. And if you want to look at some of the other commands that you can use, we can do look help at starts with. And this is the one that I use the most often, but we've got select helpers here. We got a lot of options here. We got starts with, we got ends with, we got contains. Maybe we want something that's in the middle of the variable name. Matches, number, range, blah, blah, blah. There's lots of different options. Basically, that helps you select multiple variables at once without having to type out every single one of them or hope that they're all together in the data set so we can do one to the other with a colon. It's a lot easier this way, believe me. Okay, so what have we got so far? We got mutate, we got filter, we have select. Mutate creates a new variable. Filter filters out and just picks some of the rows. Select just picks some of the columns. Lastly, we're going to do arrange. Arrange will sort the data however we want. So let's say we want the data to be sorted so that we have we've sorted it from lowest crime rate to highest. There's a lot of different reasons we might do this. So we're going to sort the data using arrange. So we got crime, arrange. Again, once again, we're going to put in this, and we're going to sort it by crime rate. So if we do this, look back at crime, we can see that the lowest crime rate is going to be up here at the top, and then it's going to get bigger as we go down. What if we want to filter by, arrange it by more things than just one at a time? Well, maybe I want the lowest crime rate within year. So I want to go by year, and then within the year, I want the lowest crime rate going up to the top. So I just put year and then crime rate. Simple as that. So if I do this, you can see that first we have 1981, and then we have the lowest crime rate in 1981 up to the highest crime rate in 1981, and then it's going to start over with 1982, and then we'll have the lowest crime rate with 1982 and up from there. All right. So that's their very basic introduction to dplyr. We can use dplyr to create new variables with mutate. We can use it to select particular rows with filter. We can use it to select particular columns with select. And we can use it to sort the data using arrange. One last very minor command I'm going to include in here is rename. Let's say we want to rename a variable to something else. Maybe we're joining two data sets together like we did in the last video, but one of the variable names does not match the correct variable in the other one. So let's rename a variable. So to crime. And I haven't liked how crime rate has that weird thing, so let's go ahead and rename it crime. And I'm going to say that crime rate is crumrit. So if I do this, I can see now that instead of crumrit, it's crime rate. All right, so that's 5 things you can do with dplyr, and it only gets better from here. So go ahead and stick in with the next video for the second part of the dplyr series. Thank you very much.